What is up? My name is Yancey Strickler, and I'm here with my friend Anna Angelic. How are you doing, Anna?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Today we're going to talk about Walmart, and so I've prepared a few slides to put us in context, and we're going to try a new product to do this called That is its name, and to do that, it is going to drop me into a virtual space, and let's see if this crashes everything. Look, here I
And
am.
by the way, the name of that product is the only one that I can pronounce without accent. Hmm.
Yes, yes. Yes, excellent. The people love it. So, welcome to this virtual space. Let's talk for a minute about Walmart. So, Walmart is the largest retailer in the world, the most employees of any company in the world. It's always in the top 50 most liked brands in the US, so people tend to really like Walmart. Walmart is also the largest organic retailer in North America, probably not something you would initially think about with them. But after being criticized in the early 2000s for the food that it sold, it actually made a big shift into organic food, and that's made a real difference. Since 1984, Walmart has had these greeters at the front of their store, members of the community who just welcome folks when they come in. For such a large organization, it's not something you would expect, but there is a very community aspect that every Walmart franchise has. During COVID, this is coming out through Walmart parking lots being turned into drive ins, or Walmart creating a media property of a kind of a camp for kids starring Neil Patrick Harris, LeBron, folks like that. Now, there are a lot of criticisms of Walmart, of course. My book lays out some of them, especially the critique that Walmart is bad for mom and pop businesses, for small businesses. And you see this, that where Walmart's open up, small businesses tend to shut down. Walmart also gets some heat around how it pays its employees. Quite a few Walmart employees are actually on public assistance because they don't get health care or they aren't paid enough, aren't paid a living wage by the company. And Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, has admitted this, saying that the company depends on low prices. So in a world where the labor relations and what the value of workers is changing, potentially this could be an issue. And these criticisms of Walmart have added up to where their customer satisfaction score has been in decline for about a decade. And now Walmart tends to rank towards the bottom of their category. I think part of this is that there are new entrants in the retail space, and that their leaders in those categories are companies like Amazon and Costco and Nordstrom, places that are quite extraordinary at customer service. So this puts Walmart in an interesting position, especially now with the internet happening and a lot of the way business is operating changes. But Walmart has an interesting identity to fall back on it as kind of an enlightened Americana. That Walmart really does represent a kind of a core part of America at this point. And they are there is some enlightenment in what they do, and that I do think they have a sense of their responsibility. And they have fans. This is an Instagram account called Whoa, That's Walmart, just highlighting cool things people found at the store. There's also things like people painting what they see inside Walmart aisles that have been sort of cultural news items. So I think maybe Walmart's ultimate brand meaning is a kind of a enlightened Americana. That even though Walmart is maybe accused of being the cause of the demise of a certain kind of Americana, that really the company represents it and will continue to, and has that enlightened edge, because I do think that there is a sense of responsibility that the company feels. And so there's a lot of interesting stuff to unwrap there. So my overall impression was feeling more impressed with Walmart by the end of researching this, thinking about it, than I did at the beginning. I think a lot of the things that you might knee-jerk say a large company should do, I think Walmart has done them. There's still a lot of room to move around employee wages, and maybe dependence on a Chinese supply chain might become an issue. But that's my take. What do you think?
Right. So let's start with the last point that you said, because Walmart's mission statement is help people save money in order to live better. So for me, that is an encapsulation of this American mentality where everyone like save, save, save. No one wants to be poor. So you even have the richest people, the richest Americans, they're saving like crazy. They don't consider themselves rich. Even they are saving. They're coupon people. Everyone likes a good deal. Everyone takes Everyone is willing to go an extra mile for a deal, and even if you have three houses, you're still buying on coupons. So I think that kind of part, saving people money, and in order for them to live better, connecting saving and living better, it's very aspirational actually. But I don't necessarily agree with what you said, enlightened Americana, because those people are living it. They're not, it's not a backdrop, it's not a stage, it's not a performance, it's not ironic, it's not hipster, it's not artisanal. That's a real life for people. It's not a stage, it's for a lot of people the only way they can access certain things.
Could you imagine that, say, embracing the drive-in theater, that's sort of a callback to a kind of Americana? Yeah, it is a practical use of that space. But I'm just sort of thinking of Americana as a kind of a text that Walmart can use. Yeah, and I mean enlightened also in that, you know, Walmart today is making mask wearing mandatory in the US, which is quite controversial for a retailer to do. And certainly a lot of their customers might disagree with that. But yet they have this responsibility, so they have to step up. So maybe I would say like lowercase e enlightened, but I do sense moves of a sense of responsibility.
There is responsibility, and I would then go to what's the term community, what role they play in the communities, in rural communities, who do not have, most of them do not have any other gathering spots other than Walmarts. That's maybe the only place where you see your neighbors or run into like people who are at the other farm or who are further out. So in that sense, I think that Walmart presents consistency from coast to coast, and especially the middle. And then I would argue that there is potential communal role that they play. Yes, those drive-in theaters are now because of coronavirus. But before that, the Walmart weddings were happening, and all of the people get married in like gardening section or like that. So that, and then even greeters, they want to show it more like welcoming community into our store. Yes, they destroyed a lot of mom and pop shops in the local cities when they came in, but unlike dollar stores, for example, who are underemployed, who underpaid workers, murders happen there left, right, and center. You don't hear that with Walmart. They still have certain status in the in rural America, in suburban America. I would say that these are one of those brands that coasts look down at, and that is maybe something that we can explore, that potential class divide that Walmart emphasized very strongly a decade ago, but then the things shifted sort of. So maybe Walmart became the real America, and the Enlightenment coasts are not the real America. So I would think about that.
Well, you know, what I would say is that in 2016, in 2016, Walmart changed their mission statement and their like corporate slogan to embrace, it was save money, live better. But they were embracing this idea of well-being, and that saving money is core to well-being. But they saw Walmart's job as like fulfilling the well-being of their customers. You know, this is this is a slogan. This is the marketing slogan. So how much stock can you put in these things? But I feel like in there I see an anticipation and acknowledgement of maybe where they think the larger market is, and they are still speaking to it. But I agree about, it is I think for people on the coast, Walmart is something that they, ironically go to when they go to their Airbnb, to be someplace rural. Maybe now in coronavirus, they are going there. But that Walmart is it's a serious part of the American fabric, and I think a lot of the criticisms of it are, at this point not that relevant to people's lives. I mean, it's hard, it's tough to say. You could say you could lament or mourn mom and pop shops, but those things are not coming back in many of these cases, and Walmart is the only way. Now the ultimate equalizer here, of course, is the internet. The internet is what does push Walmart competitively, and where you do see maybe a proliferation of commerce for a certain kind of customer with a good enough internet access. But I wonder how you
That
think
is,
about
yeah.
how Walmart and the web, how you think about how that fits.
That's, I do think that like that Amazon pushed Walmart to really, really invest in their e-commerce business, as we know, and they're still catching up because their main their main business were physical stores, and they didn't invest enough in online presence, and now they're still playing the catch-up game, and they bought a lot of online brands in the fashion space, in the grocery space, in order to beef up their innovation efforts. Still don't think they're there, and they should learn from Muji, which is another cautionary tale, which had stores at every corner, and they had to file for bankruptcy in the United States because their web presence was like from 20 years ago. They had like 3 products there. So I think that like, yes, absolutely, because when you put something in Google and you like that, there's the same thing as Amazon and fashion. Like at the beginning it was like, oh my god, never, I'll never buy like anything fashionable on Amazon. Now it's like, who cares? You're just like, everything is a commodity. So I think that's Walmart game is a commodity game. So in that sense, like anything you can find, Google, like I don't know, like I'm unpacking right now, so you say, hey, like I don't know, a trash can, if it's from Walmart, if it's going to be here in 2 hours, who cares? I'll buy it. So yes, definitely in that sense, and also in a sense that Walmart did invest in a lot of private brands, the same as Target did. So those private brands have that kind of standalone, more exclusive. I mean, nothing is exclusive at Walmart, but sort of like more of an investment. So you go and you buy that Sofia Vergara pair of jeans, or Lady Gaga, or something like that. That sort of, I think a lot of celebrities are seeing that as an opportunity, because there is no one who does not shop at Walmart, at least sometimes.
Mm.
Let's, on a grand scheme, big perspective, like total addressable market of Walmart is much bigger than anyone else. It's like, it's equal to Amazon's one. So I think when you want to reach mass, you do that. And I think that is, I'm not quite sure what happened with Walmart fashion. I think they've been trying and trying and trying to work on that. But I think that the opportunity is very big, and it's unbelievably good if they manage to tap into it right, because that's fashion for 99%. And we're seeing with that a big democratization. This is like the whole movement towards democratization. Like imagine 10 years ago, we were talking about the people of Walmart. Now we are fighting for social equality. So that is something that I think works in Walmart's favor, actually, and that they can tap into that.
So what, last question, what would you see as like the existential risks for Walmart's brand, or just its meaning in the eyes of its customers going forward?
There are 2 things. One is business. They have too many stores. I mean, just in a sense, like that something like this happens and you have to close stores, your business suffers just by the very fact that your physical retail footprint is massive. So that is one. Go online, yes. And then I would say use those stores very strategically. The same thing as other retailers are going through. Can you use data? Can you figure out what are the local needs and how can you deliver on those needs? What are the add-on services that are going to help pick up and delivery, 4-hour delivery, and things like that. So in that sense, optimize supply and demand. And it's not, you don't need to have Walmart at every mile. You can have a Walmart kiosk, Walmart vending machine, Walmart delivery center, drone delivery center, however you want to call it. I think in that sense, innovation is existential threat to Walmart. Business innovation. In terms of brand, I always felt that they really did coast on that, save money better, because they reach so many people that don't really even, have to convince anyone.
Mm.
To shop there. They never tried to convince more affluent people or urban people because there were no Walmarts around New York. So I think that in that sense, they had like their brand strategy on a back burner.
So if you were, if you were the CMO of Walmart and say there was a culture war flare up, say there's another, mass shooting, something like that, and the pressure is on to make a decision about whether to sell guns. How would you think about that question? If it's not your just your call, but you're weighing in from a brand and marketing perspective. What would you say?
Well, first of all, no one listens to CMOs. So let's And then, so
What?
you know what? I think it's a great challenge in a sense that that is not anymore a marketing challenge, and I'll tell you why. It's like, how can someone like Walmart help people who are very low in terms of their income and abilities and social mobility, like make their ends meet? So what does it mean? How do you connect sort of the charitable aspect, doing good and doing well, social responsibility aspect, community involvement aspect? So that means if you're part of the community, what can you do for that community? Are there any food drives? Can you do like a budgeting tool for someone? Can you help them in different ways, like to make them more financially literate, to help them make the ends meet? Don't think about sell more products. Think about what is my role in this community. That's what I would do.
And gun sales continue. And
Don't
gun
look at me.
no, of course, no.
I registered to vote in Florida today,
Oh,
which
excellent,
is the first year I can vote. So I
excellent.
became citizen last year.
Well, congratulations to the Sunshine State, Anna.
Thank you. The swing state.
Yeah, Anna, it's great to see you again, and we'll be back soon.
Thank you.